Yo, what's up guys, my name is Mr. Freeze2244 and welcome to the monthly review of the October content. Now we're going to be doing this every month. I did start this out in September, and the month before that I had the idea and everyone seemed to be on board with it. So that's the reason why I did it in September. It seemed to be a good idea, so I thought I'd be doing it this month as well. Considering we've got the new November content schedule coming out tomorrow, I'm anticipating I may as well just do the October one as well as the review then before we do the November content. So I'm going to be giving the good bits of the month up and up, and I'm going to give all the bad bits a down after all the month. So I'm going to try and review it that way. So hopefully trying to be a little bit more interesting. So we start off with a down, and that's because this is the Riviera restoration escalation, and it takes place in Miami, but it's overall it's just a very bad escalation. If you want an example of a bad escalation within this game, this will be the example of it. Purely because basically everything you could have done in this escalation can be just made into a contract. Really, like, there's nothing really. There was nothing interesting throughout the entire escalation. It doesn't advance in difficulty. It was just very boring, very simple, very obvious of what you have to do. And I was very close to not even making a guide to this, but I did still have some people requesting it anyway, so that's one of the reasons why I decided to do it. But overall, it was just a very boring escalation. You got 3 targets, got to take them all out as a medic, and that's basically it. There's nothing more to it. The only interesting thing they added was added enforcers, but they didn't impact the route that I took anyway in any shape or form, so it really did not matter overall, and I think overall it was just a poor escalation. It could have been done a lot better, so that gets a down. So next up we have the Mumbai escalation called the Divine Descendants. You did unlock the Imperial suit with gloves, however, but overall, again, the escalation wasn't that good overall. I'll give this another down. It's better than the previous escalation, I'll give it that. But overall, the one thing that gets a little bit frustrating when it comes to things in Mumbai, and it's probably a Mumbai hate overall, if you could say that. Well, it's not a hate, but it's a problem that I always have in Mumbai. It's the enforcers. The super enforcers that walk around Mumbai are incredibly frustrating to deal with, and there always seems to be eyeballs, and no matter where you are, there's always people there. You know, you can't really seclude a lot of people in Mumbai. It's kind of frustrating, and it really forced me to do it only one way I could think of, and without using the overpowered electrocution phone. That's what people call it, an overpowered anyway, but without using that phone or anything other kind of like the Seeker 1, for example, which would help out with this escalation a lot. Without those items, this escalation becomes a bit of a chore. So overall, I didn't really much appreciate this escalation either, but overall it was a lot better than the Riviera restoration, that's for sure. Next, what we had in this month is the elusive target, the warlord. I'll give this an up. The reason for that is one of the best elusive targets, I should say. I mean, at least it's the best one for Bangkok, but it's not a major thing to say considering we've only had, I think, 2 elusive targets in Bangkok. But yeah, everyone has been asking for this elusive target just pure because they wanted to unlock the casual suit with the gloves, and now finally we have that. There was a bug at the start of the elusive target though. It impacted quite a few people, including myself, where it didn't actually unlock the casual suit with gloves. So I thought it was just a big waste of time, really. I thought the fans have been asking for this elusive target for months, considering you're bringing out legacy elusive targets, and we haven't had a Bangkok one for ages. And when they finally give it us, we don't actually get the suit that everyone wanted, which is a bit of a shame. But they didn't manage to rectify it a few hours later, and everyone that finished the elusive target that suffered with this problem, they got it after the end of the elusive target once it was finished. But overall, is as far as legacy elusive target goes, I guess it's a good one. So I'm trying to be positive here, so I'm just going to give this elusive target an up. Now we will come back to the elusive target subject in another video, because I really do want to start talking more about the elusive targets in general, and about its long stay, and about all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that kind of stuff. Subscribe if you are brand new to the channel as well. So the next thing that came up in this month was the featured contracts, which I was not interested in. But I did get some feedback on these featured contracts, and apparently from the feedback I've been getting, a lot of these featured contracts of this month, and featured contracts in general this year, is they're becoming a little bit difficult to complete for the average player. And from personal experience, from doing some of the featured contracts a few months ago, I completely agree with that. They tend to be making contracts for people that don't really tend to move, people that are very difficult to seclude into little areas and stuff like that. They're purposely choosing this, and I don't think it's a good way for people to be playing these feature contracts. People want to, they want the ticks next to all the contracts and stuff like that, but unfortunately they've made them so difficult these days, and they keep featuring really difficult contracts, and I'm not completely sure why. They're not really... There's a lot of like 5 target contracts and a lot of specifics that are involved in this contract. They make it seem like there's only one way to do it, and I don't like that. Where's the freedom, I always thought for Hitman, you play the game any way you want to, sure, but for a lot of people want to get Silent Assassin, and they want it to be at least possible, and at least, an efficient way of doing it. However, they've made them so difficult, people just are not interested anymore. That's what I feel anyway. But next thing up we had on October 22nd was the Legacy Challenge Packs that was released with this Halloween escalation as well. I'll get to this Halloween escalation in a bit, but the Legacy Challenge Packs, I decided not to include that. All the other featured contracts gets it down, by the way. The Legacy Challenge Packs got re-released, but they give us some new items. Well, actually not new items, but we got one new item anyway, that's it. So the Master Vampire Challenge Pack got released for Paris, so we got the Sedative Syringe, that's a new item for Hitman 2. We haven't had that before, so I'll give that an up. And for the Master Scarecrow Challenge Pack, it's got to be the worst challenge pack in the entire series of Hitman. I really did not want to do this again. I have decided not to do it again. I've already got the videos for these walkthroughs online already, so if you are struggling on these challenge packs, there's videos out there already. So if you check the Hitman 2 challenge packs playlist, they'll all be there, along with the Master Vampire Challenge Pack and the Hitman Horror Challenge Pack. And they're difficult because you got to do things in a specific way, and it's very anti-Hitman. It's very opposite when it comes to these what you've actually learned to do throughout the game. I don't mind them doing this sort of thing in escalations, but when it comes to these main missions, they make them really difficult like that. I'm not a big fan of it. So, for the Master Scarecrow Challenge Pack, I'm going to give that a down. The Hitman Horror Challenge Pack was a bit of the same, but it's a bit of a mixture of the Master Vampire Challenge Pack and the Master Scarecrow Challenge Pack. So, the Hitman Horror Challenge Pack is pretty good unlockable as well. It's the Antique Lethal Syringe, so I'm going to give that an up. And for 22nd of October as well, we have this escalation that's showing on screen right now, and I've got to say it's the best escalation that the developers have ever made, purely because they've done something completely different. I mean, yeah, level 3 wasn't that great because the guards, where you got to knock out 24 guards if you want to get Silent Assassin. They've made it a bit of a challenge, fair enough, but I think they went a bit overboard with the amount of guards to knock out. Maybe if you had to knock out about 10, maybe something like that, that would have been a lot better. Also, I think if we had 10 targets, I think it would be a lot more fun if we could kill these people rather than just knock them out if you want a Silent Assassin rating. But they did some interesting things with this escalation. They did some teleporting stuff, and they did some things in this escalation that was completely different to the regular escalations in this game, because the escalations become a little bit boring, and they've done something completely different. I love the theme. I love the little filter they put over the map as well. I love the pumpkins and all the orange stuff, and it's just a great escalation overall. I really did enjoy playing this, and I highly recommend you playing this if you haven't done it already. You get 2 unlockables with this one as well. You get the tactical wetsuit, and you do get the batarang as well. It's basically a bat shuriken. That's what they're calling it in the game, but it's a batarang. Let's not be a bit silly about it. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, if you haven't noticed already, I'm giving this Halloween escalation an up. So it's a very good escalation. Check it out if you haven't already. Next, we have the Serial Killer Elusive Targets, the first Hitman 2 elusive target we've had for months, and finally came around. And I got a little bit intrigued with this because they showed they didn't want to release any details about him. They didn't really or her, because we didn't know who the target was, and they didn't want to release any information on what he looked like or anything like that. So I got a little bit intrigued. So I thought they was going to do something interesting with this. For example, I don't know, because at the start, just before I did this elusive target, they didn't have a challenge for Silent Assassin for the elusive target. They didn't have that challenge there, and I thought they was going to do something interesting. I thought, why isn't that there? It turned out to be a bug in the end, and they did put it back in, but I thought they was going to do something interesting. For example, maybe he's going around the village and he's killing people, and you have to stop him before he reaches a certain amount of people, or something like that. And I thought that was going to be really cool, like if we could find them and just do something along those lines, or secluding him into an area and, you know, go through these whole bits of dialogue or something like that. I thought it was going to do something like that. I thought it was an opportunity missed with this elusive target, and it turns out he's actually just wandering around the barbecue party at the back, and he doesn't really get in any secluded areas or whatever. And the game offers you a very, very obvious way of taking him out with a glass of whiskey that he has in the kitchen. He takes a drink from. Apart from that, he does go up to the barbecue area where you can serve him with some poison or whatever, but apart from those two options, there's not really much to this elusive target. And again, I'm very, very disappointed when it comes to that, because I thought this had potential to become something good. They could have had a good idea here, but I don't think they implemented it. But it's a shame. I mean, I wish they did something more interesting like that for elusive targets. To me, elusive targets have gotten a bit dull, stale. But I think they need to do something different with these elusive targets. Like having just a standard target and that's it, and then making them easy to do it. Also, I had a problem with Diana telling you exactly where he would be, telling you exactly who I should keep an eye on. And I don't agree with that either, because it's basically telling the player who it is. You've ruined the mystery behind it. You've told us nothing about the elusive target. You told us not what he looks like. And then you got Diana saying you should keep an eye on this person. I just don't understand why. What's the point of that? You know, we're not all completely stupid, but yeah, they made it so obvious. And yeah, this is gonna get down. I mean, I don't understand why. I don't know. It just bothered me a lot. I mean, even when we tried to emetic poison him to get him to go to the bathroom to be sick, there's people that are triggered. So if you go into the bathroom, there will be NPCs that get triggered a script to then go into the bathroom to see what you're doing, and then they're going, "Hey, what are you doing in here? I want some privacy." That's what they do, and again, it ruins that option. So what options are left, apart from poisoning that glass of whiskey? So that's pretty much. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much what everyone did. So yeah. Like I said, this gets it down. Next thing in the month of October, we had the Legacy Escalations. So on October 31st, we had some Legacy Escalations. It was the Humor, Tenacity, and the Eccleston Illumination. I'll rate these one by one. So for the Eccleston Illumination, we had to hack a laptop, and we had to take out a couple of targets. And it was going well. I mean, I remember season 1, it was a very, very hard escalation to do because of the laptop, and the head turning was involved in this situation right here. So you already wanted to hack this laptop, and you just couldn't do it. But for season 2, for Hitman 2 I should say, we've got items now that can actually get around this problem. So all you got to do is just trank that woman in the corner, and you're pretty much good to go, as long as you start in this location. And then you can focus on the other 2 targets. They do change the different ways of actually taking out these 2 targets throughout the escalation, but for level 5 they just completely turned it on its head and just completely changed everything overall. And that was a bit odd, because it wasn't escalating the problem. They just completely changed everything for level 5, and that's just kind of a weird way to do it. But overall, it was a decent escalation. Really, it made you work it out, and it made you think, rather than just a basic kind of escalation. Also, you had a stipulation, that's what it is. A stipulation where you can only carry the katana while you're wearing the Plague Doctor's disguise, and that was a kind of an interesting aspect to it. So I'm going to give this escalation a nod, because it was just more interesting than a lot of Hitman 2 escalations. It made me appreciate that our Legacy escalations were, I think, a lot better than what we've had so far. And the other escalation that came out with was the Humor, Tenacity. This was a decent escalation, I'll give it that. I'm not a fan of this style location. It pretty much forces you to start in this location, and this camera outside is very obnoxious, because you've got to wait until the 15th second or 12th second or something like that to get past it. Pretty irritating. But apart from that, it's another one of those escalations that made you think. It doesn't work the same way as in Season 1, because the distractions are kind of busted in Hitman 2, because the audio distractions are so weird. You'll throw a coin below the helipad, and he'll go and tell a guard to go and investigate the coin, and I'm not completely sure why that is the case. I mean, he's clearly the one that's right next to it, so I don't understand why he's going to tell the guards to go and investigate. Who is he? He's just a pilot. It's just, I don't know. It kind of bothered me a lot, because you're thinking, why is he? I don't know. Anyway, the distractions just didn't work properly, so I decided to do it a different way. people were still telling me that the audio distractions does still work, but I don't know. I'm gonna give this escalation. I'm not completely sure actually. I'm gonna give it an up actually, because it did make me think, and it isn't one of those escalations where they've completely changed the rules, because they give you a time limit of all the disguise changes and stuff like that. And yeah, so it's a good job I had 2 emetic syringes as well. So that is, for Hitman 2, this is a good, decent escalation, I think. They have some good ideas, and I think I quite enjoyed it when I tried to figure it out. Couldn't figure it out for a while, then I finally triggered and twigged this idea of dumping the body over the ledge and dumping him through this window, because in this room here, no NPCs can hear any gunshots in there, which is kind of cool. So yeah, this escalation gets an up. So moving on to the final thing that we had this month was the challenge pack in Hawke's Bay, which is it says uninvited on the actual monthly roadmap, but what it's actually called is the Thriller Night challenge pack. The challenges for this one wasn't very challenging overall, but it was a lot more fun to do this kind of challenge pack than a lot of others. I'm going to give this challenge pack an up, despite the incredibly underwhelming reward that we get for this, which is the red tie kiwi. It's a squeaky toy, but it just explodes on impact. So even if you just drop it on the floor, a lot of confetti and stuff that comes out of it. I'm not sure if this was supposed to be a joke or whatever, but I certainly didn't laugh when I saw it. I just thought to myself, as soon as I saw it, I thought to myself, I've just wasted a lot of time doing this. I thought, why did I just do all this challenge pack just for an item like this? I don't know. It just seemed a little bit disappointing to me, but overall still I'm going to give the challenge pack an up, purely because the challenges were quite fun to complete. Wasn't very challenging overall, but yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Not really much to say about this challenge pack. I do like the fact that they're using Hawke's Bay a little bit more. It is one of the good maps, but despite the people saying it's just, wouldn't even class it as a map, but you know, it's a good mission overall. I thought it's a good environment to do different things in. I'm glad they are actually doing some stuff in Hawke's Bay, and hopefully that continues. So overall, like I said, this gets an up. Overall, this month's content hasn't been that bad overall. We have got quite a few unlocks as well. I think we've got 9 unlocks overall. We'll get the whole month of content an up compared to last month. Last month was quite disappointing, and hopefully November becomes a little bit more better as well. So overall, positivity, great, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I've got to say. So that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and hopefully you like the format. Let me know in the comments what you think. Subscribe if you are brand new to the channel, and hit the bell notification to be notified of all future videos and live streams. Consider supporting me on Patreon, or even becoming a member of the channel by clicking the join button below, or clicking the link in the description for all the details of different perks with each membership. Shout out to Argel, Finn Parkinson, and the Shave for becoming top Psycho Assassin tier members of the channel. I've updated the credits now, so this is all showing for November. So again, I really do appreciate the support, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.